Good afternoon, Orange family. Thank you to all those who are continued supporters who stay coming to see us every Friday. And for all those newbies, thank you for coming and spending the Friday afternoon with us. My name is Daniel Gonzalez. I am a realtor with eLive Realty. Today we're going to dive into what your options are when you are unmarried and are looking to take title on a property, right? There are many options, but we're going to stick to the two most common ways of taking or vesting title into being either an unmarried couple or married couple. Married couple as a whole, that's self-explanatory, but when you're unmarried, right? Disclaimer, first and foremost, I am not an attorney, nor am I going to portray myself as one, so it's very important that if you guys want to have a deeper dive on your certain situation or circumstances, that you get with an attorney, preferably a real estate attorney or an estate attorney, so you can understand what are the more in-depth tailored options for what your questions may be. But sticking to the surface level, what are my two options if I am not married and I want to take ownership of a new dwelling property that I'm purchasing with partner, girlfriend, brother, whatever the case may be? First and foremost, the most common one, actually, before I jump into what those two common ones are, when you apply with lenders, this is actually very important that you have an understanding of this. Even from the first step when you apply with lenders, if you are an unmarried couple and you want to keep things in that manner, you really want to let the lender know from the beginning, right? Let's say, for example, though, and this is mainly for more different situations, if you aren't married but you filed taxes together, you're practically married. Just wanting to know that. The IRS is going to look at you and the lenders are going to look at you as if you guys are a married couple because of the fact that you guys filed taxes together, right? Now let's say that you didn't file taxes together and you are unmarried and you guys want to keep it that way, right? You would then just make sure that the lender is aware of that. Because if you don't, in the day of closing, if the lenders come to find out that you guys, for some reason, don't agree with the fact that you are stated on title as married when you guys are not married because you didn't clarify that, that can just push back all the documentation. Things need to be redone because if you stated on the application that you're married, you're going to be vested on title as if you are married. And if you go the day of closing kind of saying, hey, I know it's closing day today, but I am technically not married, we are not married, then that's going to push everything back, right? So just keep that, be aware of that the day, whenever, before you even start applying with lenders. Now, jumping straight into what is the first option, which is the most common, is your joint tenancy with right of survivorship. What does that mean? Essentially, what that means is that when you purchase a property with you as a joint tenancy, you and your partner, that just means that you guys purchase the property on the same day. You guys have equal equitable interest. You guys are being recorded on the same document. That is all taking place at the same time. You guys own it together. Now, what happens if one of you guys were to pass away is that automatically, when it's a right of survivorship, the other person, or the other interest of the party, the other who has the equitable interest in the transaction, the other partner, they will automatically have their interest transferred to you, right? So, I mean, that's what should happen, right? Well, in the other option that we're going to dive into, it goes through probate, technically, if there is no right of survivorship, right? So that right of survivorship is what protects you from having to do all the probate hassle and securing your interest in the property and all that good stuff. So more than anything, just understand joint tenancy with right of survivorship means the other person gets their share automatically, like as if it were a husband and wife. Whether it's a brother and brother, investor with investor, whatever the case may be, the other person gets the rights of the share automatically back to them without having to go through probate, right? Now, on the flip side, with tenancy in common, or tenants in common, that is a different way of taking title because you're essentially letting the deed recorders know that you are gonna have unequal amounts of interest, or you guys aren't gonna be getting the interest at the same time. More than anything though, when you're tenants in common, you don't have that automatic protection of where if one party were to pass away, the other party automatically gets the share. That would technically have to go through probate if there is no trust or no death on deed, things like that you have in place. And this is where it kind of gets into estate planning and things of that nature. And again, consult with an attorney. But back to that, more than anything, when you are tenants in common, it's like you understand that your half, technically, you pass away and don't have a plan, it's gonna go to your heir or your children, things like that, more than anything. So that's one of those are really the two biggest and common ways that people take title when they are an unmarried couple. It's very important that you have this understood before purchasing a property with not just your partner, but with anyone, whoever it is may be that you're thinking about owning property with, that you guys have an understanding that, hey, if you're not here anymore, either I will get your share or you will have some separate document that we create in agreement to, in alignment with. Whatever happens to you, your share goes somewhere where it needs to go, to the appropriate place, right? So it's very important that you guys also, in that same situation, once you close and you guys have an understanding of title, get in your estate planning situated, so that way if you have a trust, you can implement it in any which way that you have to ensure that things get handled adequately with your property and your interest, things like that. So yeah, guys, again, not an attorney, but I know a thing or two. And please remember that even though we may not be attorneys, we have all the attorney connections that you may be in need of. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to get you acquainted with folks who have all the answers for your questions that you may be having. That being said, I don't know if we have any questions in the chat.
We don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for stopping by on this lovely Friday. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Happy New Year. And until next Friday, may you guys take care.
Thank you. Woo!